by a ranking member of the Intelligence Committee in the House, Congressman Adam Schiff, Democrat from California. And Congressman, I want to ask you about what happened in your committee today, but first I want to get your response to the president's comments about the travel ban, that the ruling makes the country weak, makes the country look weak, and that he prefers the original.
Well, actually, I think the arbitrary and discriminatory nature of the ban makes the president look weak and unorganized. What struck me more than anything else, Chris, is as a resident of the area served by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, if I were advising the president, I would probably say, you know, Mr. President, we're going to be appealing this to the Ninth Circuit. Best not to threaten to break up the Ninth Circuit because you don't like them when we're likely going to be appearing before them. So that was awfully jarring to see that thinly veiled threat. The problem that they have to confront is there's a lot of legislative history with this now, and that history doesn't go away. And of course, that history strongly indicates that what they really wanted to do was establish a religious test for these immigrants.
I want to talk about the Affordable Care Act as well, briefly, which is this. You know how this works. Tough votes in the House require a faith that the people calling for the tough vote are going to see it out. Nancy Pelosi was very good at doing that. She won a bunch of very tough votes. Do you think your colleagues on the Republican side can have faith that's going to happen in this instance?
No, absolutely not. I think they all realize, particularly given what a lot of the senators are now saying, that it doesn't make sense for them to walk the plank for something that is never going to become law, because they will have to justify that. It's one thing if you're asked to take a tough vote and you know, okay, this is going to get to the president and my vote is really necessary here. But if you're doing it knowing the bill in that form is going to die anyway, it's a pointless sacrifice. So political expedience, if not good conscience, may prevent this bill from getting out of the House.
Let's talk about what you had to say with the chair of the House Intelligence Committee today, Devin Nunes. The two of you had an availability. And a lot of it centered on this question that, to me, I find, frankly, between you and me, just us, maddening, which is the president's accusation the previous president essentially illegally wiretapped him, an accusation that has been kind of smudged and danced around in various ways as you and your colleagues try to get to the bottom of it. And the chair of the committee, Devin Nunes, basically said, no, there's no evidence. No, it almost certainly didn't happen. I mean, can we just put to rest the idea that this accusation was based on any evidence?
Well, you know, the president doesn't seem ready to put it to rest and keeps doubling down on this baseless accusation. But I do think that next Monday is probably the day when this will be settled, because we'll have Director Comey in an open hearing. We will ask him, is there any basis for the president's astounding claim that his predecessor had wiretapped him? And I fully expect he's going to say there is absolutely nothing to it. So that ought to put it to rest. Now, the president is saying, well, in 2 weeks we're going to discover something, and the only thing we're going to discover in 2 weeks is that he has yet another excuse. But it's not going to provide any evidence, nor really could there be.
The wiretapping accusation is a kind of distorted, perverted kind of game of telephone version of reporting about the fact that there seems to be or was a counterintelligence investigation into the Trump campaign and the possibility of any kind of collusion with Russia as it was hacking the DNC and John Podesta's emails. What does the American public, what do you want to know about that, and what do we as Americans deserve to know about the status or existence of such an investigation?
Well, unfortunately, most of that I really can't comment on. I do think that at the end of our investigation that we will issue a report, and my hope is that it will discuss exactly this, that we certainly on the committee will be investigating the issues of potential collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia and the Kremlin. And obviously there are a number of very important issues that have come up that are within the category of collusion. But in terms of what the investigative agencies themselves might be doing, that's not something I'm able to comment on.
So, Director, that sort of larger question, right? The narrow question of the wiretapping, we can expect an answer from Director Comey on Monday. This larger question, you expect that is something that he is going to demur on.
That is what I expect, but nonetheless, I think we will be able to ask the director a great deal that he will be able to comment on. You know, for example, we can ask the director about what techniques the Russians use to financially entangle people, how they make use of compromising material, what tactics they have used in Europe. what tactics we already know they used in the United States. We can ask about how they used WikiLeaks and how they used Guccifer, and we can certainly ask him about public information, people that have acknowledged contacts like Roger Stone with those outlets that published the material that was so helpful to Donald Trump. So there's a lot we can ask. There certainly will be a number of areas where the director in open session will decline to answer.
All right, Congressman Adam Schiff.